What was once a dream scenario today became a reality. In fact, not even in my best expectations did I see this happening. We have got real confirmation of an alt season, and this is no ordinary alt season. In fact, our data shows that this alt season may be 10 times bigger and at least 4 times longer than the last alt season. How you trade today and in the next few weeks could change the financial paths of your lives forever. But if you don't have the right mindset, if your mindset isn't in the right place, then you may actually walk away from this bull market worse off than when we started. Trust me, guys, it happened to me in 2017. So today is actually all about mindset, and it's all about how to get our mindsets right for this bull market to make sure that we walk away and never have to work ever again. What do you think, Fred? I mean, if you never have to work ever again, what am I going to do? I mean, guys, we need to convince Fred that, after the bull market, or he should still be here and help me make some shows, because I can't do this without Fred. Can't do it. The man, he makes the shows here. It's not me. It's Fred. It's Sheldon. It's Leah. It's the designers in the back end. They actually make the show, not me. Welcome. If you are new to our channel, welcome. Welcome to the best crypto show in all the interwebs. Yeah, I know there are bigger shows on the interweb, but there are certainly no better shows on the interweb. I'm Crypto Man Run. I'm your host. I'm going to be guiding you through this bull market. If you're new, well, welcome to the rides of your lives. And this is the one community that just keeps giving and giving and giving. Not only do we keep giving you $1,000 in BYBIT rewards, not only do we keep giving you pearls of wisdom, but yesterday we gave away the first banter bag. I mean, it was unplanned, and I just decided to give away or to announce the first winner in the banter bags competition. His name is Christian Z. He is from Ghana, and he has won himself what I think is going to be life-changing money. I mean, living in Africa, living in Ghana, winning a share of the banter bags. So you're asking, what are these banter bags? And that means that you're brand new to our channel. So the banter bags started off as like this cool, fun thing that I wanted to do. I wanted to reward the community. And so I wanted to give the community $10,000. And instead of giving the community $10,000, I took the $10,000 and I invested them into pre-market allocations, but the best pre-market allocations, the ones that no one could get their hands onto. That's exactly the ones that I decided to invest in. So these bags started to come to the market, and they started to grow and grow and grow. And now what I'm doing is we're starting to sell some of the banter bags so we can invest and invest and invest. When we get to 250,000 subscribers, the banter bags goes to you guys. Yeah. So between now and when we get 250,000 subscribers, we will choose the winners. We'll randomly select the winners. We'll select them from the chats. We'll select them from the algorithm. Every time that you hit like, every time that you subscribe, hit the notification bell, follow me on Twitter, follow Sheldon on Twitter, that's basically an entry to the competition. We are going to draw winners. We're going to draw, it can't be one. So it's going to have to be 3. Fred, what's the outcome here? The guys want to know. Is it 3? Is it 10? Is it 100? Fred says 10, life-changing money. What do you guys think? Let us know. Is there going to be 10 of you that are going to walk away with the banter bags? But whatever happens, when we get to 250,000 subscribers, we will announce the final winners and we'll give away the banter bags. And then you know what we'll do? We'll start again. We'll create a new banter bags, and we'll just keep doing these banter bags until eventually we change everybody's lives. We have to change everybody's lives. I said earlier that by the end of this bull market, I need you guys all to walk away with at least 1 Bitcoin. There shouldn't be any members of my community that don't own a full Bitcoin, because what we're going to do today is we're going to talk to you guys about how you're going to accumulate Bitcoin. And we're joined by a very special guest, very, very, very special guest. You guys asked for this guest to come back. So, I mean, this guest is amazing. Really, really amazing. So we'll get to the guest. But just before we get there, we did have a member of the community. I want to show you guys one of the members of our community. So flipping cool. He created, his name is Crypto Beatniks, and he created the Run NFT. Now, I'm not sure if you guys are going to be able to hear this. Let's see. Can you hear the music? That's the Run NFT. He's been creating these NFTs for a lot of. Well, hold on, let me switch that on. Let me switch that off. So thank you, Crypto Beatniks. We appreciate it. That is the NFT. I saw that it's actually on OpenSea. So guys, don't buy it because I want to buy it. That's my NFT. I'm going to buy it. What else? Oh, Fred, yesterday we gave the guys some calls, right? Let's go through the calls that we made yesterday quickly. So the first call that I'm going to make is for you guys to top up your portfolios with BNB coin. If you are buying BNB, then you have to buy PancakeSwap. You have to buy PancakeSwap. Number 3 on my list is also in the DEX category. And that, of course, is Injective Protocol. There's a small cap token, which is a gem. And I've called it on the show before. And that small cap token is bird money. Careful the bird doesn't fly away, bro, because that bird's going to fly. That bird's flying, bro. So number 5, again, plays into the narratives. And the first one that I want to talk to you guys about, in fact, the one that I want to show you is CardStarter. First launch is happening on the 26th of April. Cool. Number 6 is a new launch on the CardStarter platform. And the token is called Charlie 3 or C3. Okay, so that is token number 6. Token number 7. And it should be the number 1 because this is the most exciting project in the space today. I'm telling you that. And we have Nick Chan on the show with us to tell us about Refinable. Nick, how are you, my friend?
Yeah, doing well. Thanks for having me on board.
There is no NFT insurance in the digital space. Except now there is, and that digital insurance is called DART. So the last token that I want to call is Gavi. Okay, so that was the calls from yesterday, and now I'm actually just looking at my phone, and I'm seeing a report here. It's unconfirmed, so don't know if this is true, but it looks like Ocam.fi, the launchpad on Cardano, is announcing its first IDO. Now, again, I don't have this from Ocam.fi. I have it from the rumor mill. It looks like it's a DEX. It looks like there's a DEX that's launching on Ocam.fi. So look out for that announcement. And remember, if you are bullish on Cardano and you are bullish on launchpads and you do want to get into these things, then Ocam.fi or CardStarter, get your hands onto those launchpad tokens. We will speak a lot about launchpad tokens today because a lot of people are bringing up the concern, what happens to launchpad tokens in a bear market? What actually happens to all these launchpad tokens? So we will bring that up today. What else? Oh, tomorrow. There's a massive banter tomorrow. But it's not an ordinary banter. It's a banter on Sheldon's show, guys. So on Sheldon's show, we have a banter. Freddie, just put up that slide. I'm changing Wi-Fi's, guys. So let's hope it all works. Can you guys all hear me? Okay, amazing. So tomorrow we have a new kind of banter on the morning show. So the morning show or the earlier show is all about charts. So we decided to do a charting banter, which is basically our favorite chartists all on one banter. So we've got Sheldon the Sniper, we've got Rudo, we've got MDX Crypto, we've got Rafaela, and she's amazing. And then we've got the Moon Carl all on one show. And it's going to be like our normal banter, but it's going to be charts. So it's a banter, but with charts. And then later, on the same day, Fridays we banter. Guess who we managed to get onto banter? So George is coming. George is coming onto banter, which is, I mean, for us that's great news because I think he's going to bring us all back. He's going to bring us all back down to earth. You know, George is skeptical. I don't know if you guys have watched George, but like George can write off a project because he doesn't like one word in the description of their website. Oh, no, that word is in blue. I don't know why they use blue. Oh. Anyway, that's George. But, you know, I called him. I said, let's do banter. And, you know, he came back and he said,
let's do this.
He's so excited about banter. So tomorrow we got George, we got Winston. I actually haven't heard from Winston for about 4 days. So hopefully we've got Winston, we've got Mr. Biz. And we're getting you guys wanted some more female guests. We're going to get you some more female guests. So another big banter. What else, Freddie? Oh, we've got a project at the end of the show today. So stick around till the end because there's a new Polka starter listing. It's called UnoRe, and it's a reinsurance. It's like where the insurers insure themselves. And as far as I know, there is no other blockchain reinsurance business. So huge. Anyway, let's get on with the show today. And the show today is all about this new alt season that's happened. Remember, if you remember what I said to you guys yesterday, we got confirmation yesterday of a few indicators that show us that it's alt season. And not just that it's alt season, but that this alt season is actually going to be about 10 times bigger in terms of market size. And I'll show you that a bit later today. And could be 6 or 7 times longer. Remember, the last alt season was just a month long or something like that. The real rampant alt season was about a month long. This one could be way, way, way longer. And I'll show you the data that supports that as well today. But this alt season and this blockchain season that we're going through now is the biggest opportunity of your lives. It's the biggest opportunity, not of your lives, but it's actually the biggest opportunity of our generation. Because I don't think that there's been any other generation where a technology has not only disrupted the money supply, the golds, the store of values, the central banks, but this store of value is actually also disrupting every other industry in the world. So you've got this extremely disruptive technology, which has come in and disrupted the US dollar. The US dollar, Jerome Powell phoned Fred earlier today and he said he's panicking, He said, look, we're printing US dollars like crazy. Jerome Powell is absolutely, absolutely panicking. He phoned Fred in a flat panic earlier and he said to Fred, he said, listen, Fred, please guys, start talking about the US dollar, start shilling my shitcoin. I'm willing to pay you to shill my shitcoin. You're going to get free airdrop. Everyone's going to get a $600 airdrop. Jerome Powell's shitting himself. And that's for good reason, because of the way that they're printing US dollars. So not only is this blockchain technology disrupting the money supply, but what it's also disrupting is it's disrupting every single industry in the world. So it's disrupting banking, finance, computing, and it's really disrupting every single industry in the world. Now, I don't think that it's happened in history ever where you've had something with such a big disruption. I was around in 1998. I was a stockbroker in 1998 when the internet was doing exactly the same thing. And let me tell you that even though Willy Woo says that this disruption reminds him of the internet disruption, I can tell you categorically that this one is 10 times bigger and 10 times quicker. And the reason why I say that is because the internet never had the internet while it was penetrating. So imagine trying to get information out without having the internet. The internet didn't have that. So now that you've got the blockchain, which is kind of like Web 3.0 or Web 2.0, whatever you want to call it, and this is a blockchain, a web with money, so to speak, you are getting the biggest disruption of your lives. And I want to show you something over here. So this is Willy Woo's tweet, and he says, in terms of adoption, Bitcoin has roughly the same users as the internet had in 1997. But Bitcoin's growing faster. The next 4 years on a concurrent path will bring Bitcoin to 1 billion people, and that's the equivalent of the internet in 2005. So what we see here is the blockchain is actually being adopted much quicker than the internet. And so it's the biggest disruptive force in the world. So that is the primary disruption. And now on top of that, we got confirmation of this crazy, crazy alt season. And I spoke to you yesterday about the confirmation of the alt season. I told you guys yesterday, in fact, let me show you again. I told you yesterday that the first sign that we wanted to check was that Bitcoin was healthy. And what we see is that Bitcoin is not only healthy, but it's got a barrier at the $1 trillion market cap. So Willy Woo says that Bitcoin can't really go under $1 trillion. There's massive support at about $1 trillion. Okay, great. So Bitcoin is healthy. In fact, not only is Bitcoin healthy, but I'm reminding you guys of this again. Whenever you sell into the dip, you are selling to institutions who are taking your money and who are putting it in cold storage, and that cold storage won't be opened for years and years and years and years and years. You can see that right over here. These red lines over here are the days when Bitcoin was crashing. Look, where did they go? This is Bitcoin going off exchanges. When did the Bitcoin go off exchanges? When you sold over the weekend. This is exactly what happened. So Bitcoin is healthy. And then we saw the Bitcoin dominance chart drop, and I want to show you. Sheldon, how are you, my friend?
I'm good, and you, buddy?
Sheldon, show me the BTC ETA chart, and then we're going to add KC, and we're going to talk about this alt season.
The BTC chart to the Ethereum.
Show me the BTC dominance chart, because I want the guys to see what happened to the dominance.
So yesterday we obviously called in the drop there, the importance of us dropping that support. And you can see how we're starting to accelerate now beautifully down to the side. I'm sure everyone can see the bunch of green happening on all the altcoins today, especially to the BTC pairs. It just shows the significance of these areas. You see how it's slowed down in this range. And now as soon as we break it, how the acceleration starts again. So it just shows it was a very key level for us to break in the dominance.
Cool. What happened to ETH? ETH on the Yeah.
Exciting times. We have smashed completely through the main resistance, which was good, the resistance trend, and we have smashed a higher high. So this is huge, and we've been waiting for this. We've been speaking the last 2-3 weeks, and we've been hovering in this sort of range. And it's quite scary that this little wave that we had previously took Ethereum from $300-400 all the way to the $1,800 mark, and we are starting again, which is brilliant at the moment. And we can see Bitcoin's obviously stagnant. It's running sideways, and Ethereum is starting to climb. Bitcoin even had a dump last night, and Ethereum held its ground. And this is all because of significance of us finally getting BTC on Ethereum's sort of side.
So stay on the line, because we're going to bring you back into the show. But I actually want to talk about what the significance of all of this is. So, guys, we said yesterday that we're expecting alt season to start. And just as we said it, this Ethereum Bitcoin pair broke. What that means is that people are aping into Ethereum. And when people ape into Ethereum, it's usually the beginning of alt season. We also see that the Ethereum fundamentals are super strong. In fact, if we look at, for example, Fred, do we have Ethereum fundamentals? Let's call up some Ethereum fundamentals. So this is the Ethereum supply going off exchanges. Look at the red line. It means that the long-term hodlers are now taking their Ethereum off exchanges. So it's following the same pattern as Bitcoin. What else have we got, Freddie? Freddie says he's calling up a whole lot. Okay, ETH also did $1.5 trillion worth of transactions in 1 quarter, and is actually on the way to achieving a $10 trillion transaction volume in this calendar year, in 2021. And that is on the back of last year only doing 600 million in transaction volumes. So the ETH network is actually exploding. And if you look at this tweet by Raoul Paul, who was a self-proclaimed Bitcoin maximalist, says the ETH space is growing at 100% year on year versus 50% year on year for Bitcoin. And it's attracting a massive proportion of the developers. It sounds to me like he's more excited about Ethereum than he is about Bitcoin. And so for me, when I look at this, I say, okay, Ethereum has network effects. If you value Ethereum on the same valuation model as you value Bitcoin, today Ethereum should be priced at $7,500. And Ethereum is only now hitting all-time highs of $2,500. So that means that Ethereum has huge legs, and that the next leg will actually be driven by Ethereum. And I believe that Bitcoin will probably stay sideways or maybe go towards $60,000 or $70,000. But for me, it's going to be Ethereum, and it's going to be the altcoins. So now let me bring in our friend, Crypto Casey, because I'd love to get her view. Casey, how are you?
I'm great. How are you doing?
Casey, the community loved you so much last week. We got them saying, bring her back, bring her back, bring her back. Guys, she's back. Give us some love. Let's just have a look. I want to just check the likes. Let's see who doesn't want the banter back. Let's see who doesn't like Casey being on the show. That's a big thing. All right, so there's 9,000 people watching live, 9,000. This is a big audience, but only 5,000 likes, which kind of means that 4,000 people don't want free money or don't like Crypto Casey. Which one is it? All right, Case, what do you think of this thesis that we are now getting into this rampant bull market, this rampant crypto alt cycle, which I think the only frame of reference that we've got is 2017, but I think it's going to be way bigger. What do you think?
I agree. I think we can't really look at historical data because we are in an unusual market. We've had the Black Swan COVID. I remember last alt season when ETH started pumping, that was the start of the wave. So we have arrived. We're no longer arriving. We've arrived, and it's going to be crazy. So I'm looking forward to talking about the mindset that we should keep during this crazy time.
Yeah. Hold on, Sheldon, can you get us the data from 2017? I want to show the guys the last time this happened. Do we have that data? I'm sure that your fancy charts can show to us.
Well, the last time we had this sort of rampage, obviously we had a different accumulation last time. And yes, the market is a lot more different. But the last time we smashed through, this is sort of where I see us sitting with Ethereum right now, the smashing of this previous high and us obviously breaking out of that long-term sort of trend. So we had a strong trend down, and so I see us in this green block. This is where I see us with Ethereum now, and having a strong acceleration with Ethereum for the next month or two. I think the $3,000, $4,000 coming very soon for Ethereum, and then we'll see obviously as we go forward.
Cool. Thanks, Sheldon. We'll see you in a bit. All right, Case. So we're definitely in this rampant. All the data is pointing to the fact that we're in this rampant bull market. Ethereum is going off exchanges. New money's coming in. Retail is back in the game. What's the right mindset? How do you make sure that you walk away with life-changing returns and kind of like never have to work again after this bull run? Because I think that this is one of those times in history where if you play your cards right, then it could change the financial course of your life forever. But you got to play your cards right.
Yeah. I think one of the most salient points for me looking back at 2017, remember, all Ethereum had was crypto kitties. That was the only thing. People were buying and selling electronic cats. Okay. And then last, I think like March or April, when I first used Uniswap, I was like, this is different, much different. And since then, we've had an explosion of innovation. You can actually do a lot of high-tech, important financial, activity on Ethereum, and it's just exploding, and it works, and it's great. So keep that in mind. So if a lot of people, I think they look at Bitcoin, they look at the price of Bitcoin, and think, oh, I can't afford it. I'm going to go into ETH, and that's what happened last cycle too. ETH just had the kitties at that point, but now we have global financial network that's developing and will take over traditional finance. So the mindset you should have is obviously understanding that. That's comforting, right?
Look, I don't see ETH as a DeFi play. I think DeFi, Uniswap, that's an amazing play. But for me, ETH is an option on multiple industries in the future. Why do I say that?
Sure.
Because maybe DeFi will work, maybe it won't. Maybe NFTs will work, maybe they won't. Maybe sports betting will work, maybe it won't. But something is going to work on the Ethereum network.
Yes.
Or maybe many things are going to work on the Ethereum network. And for me, when you buy ETH, you're buying an option on any of those actually working. And
exactly.
If I were to bring it down, if I were to say, if one successful social network that is completely decentralized launches on Ethereum, that could justify the current market valuation of Ethereum today. If you think if just one Facebook gets launched on Ethereum, that could be worth the entire market cap of Ethereum today. That's how I look at ETH.
Yep. And we also have to think this is a very early time in this, innovative space. So right now we might have the Netscapes, the internet when it first happened, we had Netscape, but then what you need to be looking for are the Apples and the Googles that will eventually, capture that market share and really, you'll make massive gains from those picks.
I'm so glad you said that. And I'll tell you why, because I've been sitting here today with Fred and I said to him, Fred, I think as a community, what we need to do is we need to have like an entire change in mindset. Okay, now I'll tell you, let me give you the background. And I know you're as passionate about this as I am. So we have a big problem in the United States. They're printing money like crazy. That's obvious. We've been speaking about it for months. I don't want to talk about it for too long. But they also say that they don't have inflation. So there's only 2% inflation. Okay. Yeah, right. There's 2%.
Right.
Let me show you something. Freddie, let's call up that tweet from Charlie. So Charlie Bilelo says, look at the commodity prices year on year. Lumber is up 265%. Crude is up 210%. Gasoline is up 182%. Corn is up 84%. Copper is up 83%. Soybeans up 72%. These are the basics. Can you please explain to me how we only have a 2% inflation? Because I'm very confused.
Right. I've done some research into it. And what's funny is they keep changing the algorithm, the calculation they use to,
what a surprise.
That. And also, I don't know if you guys watched my last video, but what's funny is they stopped showing the money supply chart. They're just, I think the last point of data was February 1st. And now they just discontinued showing the money supply chart on, the Federal Reserve. That's insane. They're just flat out hiding it now. They're saying there's no inflation, and now they're trying to hide the only data that they share with us.
Well, I think that they're absolutely panicking. I heard Christine Lagarde speaking on the television earlier today, and she said they are starting to feel like they have an inflation problem in the EU. No kidding. Imagine that they have an inflation problem. Yep. I think a lot of people don't understand what inflation actually is, and I want to show you what I see inflation as. This is, for me, the ultimate measure of inflation. Okay, so this iPhone 4 used to cost 8.5 BTC when it came out in 2010. And today, the equivalent costs 0.014 in BTC. Theoretically, that should cost the same, theoretically. But you're getting such crazy inflation that things, and the problem is that it's like boiling a frog in the water because it happens slowly and slowly and slowly. And people always complain about prices going up. And that, for me, is what happens when you take a snapshot and then take a snapshot 11 years later and you realize just how badly your money has decayed.
Right. Well, what also is unfortunate is the way that they calculate inflation. They're looking at like the consumer price index and what common people will buy. Food, you have rent, housing, that kind of stuff. But we've seen rampant inflation with the stock market. But guess what? Common people don't have stocks. And so it's not a part of the inflation calculation, but it absolutely is a form of inflation. The overvaluation of these companies.
Exactly.
Right before our eyes, we've seen it go up, but people don't look at that as inflation. They've defined it differently. That's not inflation. That's growth. It's a farce.
Exactly. I mean, what's happening there is the rich are getting richer because they are investing in the stock market, while the poor don't have enough money to buy they are living on stimulus checks. The rich are taking the stimulus checks and putting it into stocks and pumping up stock prices, while the normal man on the street whose business is closed down is in a bit of a problem because he's using the stimulus checks just to feed himself and his family. And it's creating the biggest divide in history. What stresses me is that I don't see any way to reverse this. I think that they're in so deep that there's no way to reverse this.
Yeah, I think what's scary is I agree. And so at the end of the day, what are we looking at? If people don't get into crypto, if people don't hedge against inflation, if people, unfortunately, we don't have financial education in the United States largely. I think that's by design. So what are we going to have? Civil unrest?
Wow.
What's the Bitcoin going to do for you then? If people are trying to break into your house or steal things. So yeah, I'm kind of worried about if they can't find a solution, what are we going to be faced with?
So you agree with me that the US dollar, and I don't mean to sound alarmist, but the way I see it, there's no coming back from this US dollar. There's probably going to be another stimulus, a round of stimulus, because the economy is not where it should be. And the man on the street, the voter, the mass voting power don't have food or are struggling at the moment. And so they're going to need another stimulus check, which means the US is going to print more money, which means that you're drunk on stimulus. The US is drunk on stimulus. That's the problem.
Yes. Yeah, maybe the United States could print money to buy Bitcoin.
Yeah, maybe.
And what's interesting is
Bitcoin.
I think they want to maybe mitigate self-custody with cryptocurrency. And if they did that, imagine if the only way we could actually be involved with crypto is just by price exposure through a Robinhood, through a PayPal. Imagine if they regulated it to the point where even Coinbase, Gemini, Kraken, BINANCE, all of these exchanges actually only gave us price exposure to crypto, while these big companies and potentially governments actually had the private keys to all the crypto.
Very scary. Not impossible. Right. In the 1930s, the US did make a law that anybody who owned gold had to hand it in. And if you didn't, it was criminal to hold or own any gold. The reason for that is that all currencies had to be backed by gold. The US wanted to continue spending. They didn't have enough gold to back their currency, and so they confiscated everybody's gold. It's not impossible that they would try and do that. The only thing is, where would they find my private keys?
Exactly. The technology is too innovative. It's too far. It's beyond their reach. So they can try, but I don't think they would succeed.
Wow. So, Case, I didn't expect this conversation to go this way, but do you think that we could be at a point where there's a massive financial collapse of the US dollar? And when I say that, I said not in the very distant future, but in the next couple of months, years?
I don't think the next couple of months. I think we will stimulate ourselves into a very slow decline. I don't know. I don't think it's going to be a very drastic collapse, but I feel like I'm only saying that because I wasn't around for the Great Depression. And, we see a lot of media, we see a lot of people hype stuff up and FOMO and FUD. So do we also kind of just attach those emotions to this situation the US government is in and say, oh, it's just drama, it's just Hollywood? Or will we have a financial collapse? I ask myself that question a lot.
I think we are going to have a financial collapse. I don't want to say it because I'm not the kind of guy that's, doomsday. But so here's the change in mindset. So I said to Fred, what if we swung things around? So we always conditioned to say the majority of our money needs to be in US dollars, and a very small part of our portfolio needs to be in Bitcoin, and an even smaller part of our portfolio needs to be in altcoins, right? That is how we're conditioned. Even the biggest crypto OGs always said, look, take a small portion of your wealth and put it into Bitcoin, and then the rest must be in safe assets and US dollar denominated things. But what if we all as a community had a complete change in mindset and said, look, our base currency is Bitcoin. We start to price things in Bitcoin, hold our base in Bitcoin, right? Start thinking in Bitcoin. And if you did that and you swung it and you said, instead of a small part of your portfolio being in Bitcoin, put a small part of your portfolio in US dollars just to be able to pay your expenses for the next year or 2 years to survive a bear market. What would happen if we all had that change in mindset?
If we all had that same change in mindset and we had that mass adoption, we would see less price volatility with Bitcoin, because at the end of the day, we see a lot of price volatility because it's very new. A lot of people don't know about it. They don't understand it. But once you have 100% adoption of some kind of, like a Bitcoin as a value, just a type of value. Yeah. What is money? What's funny right now, all of these governments, they issue the currency and they tell you you have to use this in order to, buy things, exchange value between people. But why do they do that? They do it for power. They do it for taxation. They do it to, put people in prison that they don't want running around doing stuff. Eventually, we're going to get to the point where we're just using a Bitcoin. I mean, even, in fact, I don't know if you saw the other day, but now Newegg, the big internet computer store, will accept Doge for their stuff.
That's super smart. I said that the other day on my show, not knowing that they'd done that, but I said the first brand to come out and start rewarding consumers with Doge wins over the whole TikTok generation. It basically takes this TikTok generation and says, it's the best loyalty program that you can do. I'm so glad you said it, because I actually spoke about it on my show a few times last week.
Well, it's funny. A couple months ago, I saw that Kessler Collection, which is a luxury U.S. hotel chain, accepts Doge. Isn't that crazy? Doge. Yeah, you can look it up. Kessler, like Kessler.
So, I don't think it's funny. I think it's very, very, very smart. Give the people what they want.
I think all of the creative and the businesses that will survive this financial turmoil will start accepting crypto, and there's nothing the government's going to be able to do about it.
Exactly. We're de-governmenting ourselves. Okay, so my change in mindset says start thinking in Bitcoin, which means we start trading in Bitcoin. In other words, we don't look at the US dollar pair, we compare ourselves to the Bitcoin pair. Because remember that if you're trading an altcoin and it goes up, but Bitcoin goes up more, you've actually lost, right? So that is what trading on BTC pairs is all about. In fact, Sheldon the Sniper, will you show us an example of the BTC versus ETH pair, just so we can show our guys how to start thinking in Bitcoin? And then, Case, I'm going to start talking to you about actual moves in this next altcoin run. Like, what are you actually buying? Where are you actually putting your money? That's what the guys actually want to hear. And there's 11,000 of them, and they're going to be 11,000 likes too in a couple of minutes. So you watch the space. Sheldino.
What's up?
Sniper Sheldon. Show me how to trade a BTC pair. Explain to me how this whole thing works. A lot of the guys, we spoke about it on Sheldon's show earlier, and I got a lot of stuff on Twitter where they said, oh, wow, you've told us how to fish, but using US dollars, and now you're telling us to sell our US dollars and buy Bitcoin. Guys, I've done that. My base currency is Bitcoin. I have a few US dollars that I spend every single month, and every month I cash a little bit more Bitcoin, but I live in Bitcoin at the moment, which also means that when I trade something, I'm not trading a US dollar pair. I trade on the Bitcoin pair, which is exactly what Sheldon's doing here. So what Sheldon is doing here, he's showing you ETH against Bitcoin, which means that if Bitcoin goes up 10% and ETH goes up 10%, this graph will be flat. If ETH goes up more than Bitcoin, or if ETH goes up and Bitcoin comes down, then this chart will go up, and you're actually effectively making more Bitcoin. Right, Sheldon?
Yeah. So what we're initially doing is when we are trading, we obviously have our main currency, which we're focusing on. So a lot of us are used to the USDT, trading to the dollar, but understanding that if you start trading these altcoins to the BTC pair, that is the main currency that you're actually going to be focusing on, meaning that you are going to be using Bitcoin to buy that altcoin, or when you sell your altcoin, you're going to be receiving Bitcoin as payment. So all you're doing is shifting your main currency from USDT to Bitcoin, which is ideally what we should be doing in the market, because the USDT is actually nothing. It's not growing. It's not going to go anywhere in the future. So we got to start understanding that we can actually grow our Bitcoin in this market without having to put more money in. And understanding that is because the market is so set with so many different coins between the altcoin and Bitcoin, they're going to have different turns. To get the whole market to just go absolutely bullish and thing, it just doesn't make sense because there's not enough money. So they are going to always fluctuate between Bitcoin and the altcoins. Bitcoin and the altcoins. Why? There's so much money in Bitcoin. And obviously at times we have the Bitcoin diversifying its money into the altcoins. So we're going to have stages where, and the power of this round is you're actually farming both coins either way. And what I mean by that is if we're trading Ethereum to Bitcoin, obviously we trade on much higher time frames because you want to be a lot more accurate. You're putting your Bitcoin on the line. So big, higher time frame breaks, your hour, daily break of trends, those are really good points for you to be getting in. But what is lovely about this is you're actually trading two currencies that move. The difference with USDT is it's a stable asset, so it doesn't move itself. So what I mean by that is right now we've had Ethereum break the trend line.
Well, let's show it. Let's show it. Sheldon, show the Bitcoin chart first. Let's show the guys what's going on. Show me Bitcoin to the USD, and then show me Ethereum to USD, and then the guys will see how this happens. So Bitcoin to USD is flat or down, right?
Yeah, so we can see it's not doing anything. So that's Bitcoin right now. It's absolutely just hovering sideways, not doing much. And then obviously if we jump through to even any of them, let me just get to them.
Well, let's go to Ethereum. Let's go to USD.
Yeah, Ethereum. Let me type it in and you can see.
I think another salient point to note is that, Bitcoin is collateralized, whereas Tether is under collateralized.
100%.
We will never know. We will never know whether Tether's under collateralized or not.
Well, I think the lawyers a few months ago, they admitted that it was like they only had 70% collateralization. I'm not sure what it is now.
Yeah, I think they came out and said it was fully collateralized and they repaid all their loans. Okay, but look, while Bitcoin is stable, Ethereum is rampant against the US dollar. And so against the BTC pair, which is what Sheldon was showing us earlier, that's
exactly it. So having the backing. Now, what I also want to explain, Aaron, which is very powerful for people to understand is, we are going to get these breakouts. We're going to be able to help you get these breakouts. But right now, it's showing you that by being in Ethereum, you're going to be making Bitcoin. Why? Because Ethereum is outperforming Bitcoin on a daily basis at the moment. So even if Bitcoin is going up 3%, Ethereum's going up 8%. And by having that difference, it means if you were just in Ethereum, you would have made 5% more Bitcoin than what would have had yesterday morning if you entered at that specific time. But where the power comes in is because you got two moving assets, is you are able to actually farm both. And what I mean by that is if you caught, so I'm going to use this as a previous example, that when we caught this previous trend, you would have known that it's time for me to turn my Ethereum into Bitcoin. And all this chart shows me, and the basic understanding is when we are trailing downwards, it means that you are actually making Ethereum because Bitcoin is overpowering. So all that we can see is, so when we are trailing down, it's showing you that Bitcoin is stronger than Ethereum. When we're trailing upwards, it means Ethereum is stronger than Bitcoin. So when we got the break here, would have been your key moment to say, okay, it looks like Ethereum is going to start getting the backing from Bitcoin. So now we're going to be able to make Bitcoin on a daily basis just by holding Ethereum. But then the power of this is you will know that we will then hold it for a while. No problem. So we'll be in Ethereum making Bitcoin on a daily basis. Then eventually we're going to get the turn again, where Bitcoin is going to become the overpowering one again. And we will get that by a break of momentum or starting to lose structure, lower lows. But what this means, Rand, is you will know to shift your Bitcoin into Ethereum, you'll be making Bitcoin. When we lose momentum in this chart and we start to tail back down, you will then sell your Ethereum back into Bitcoin. Why? Because you want to protect your Bitcoin. That is your main currency. But the power of that is when we get the downwards market in it, you are actually making Ethereum. So what you don't understand is you are actually making, you can choose between these two coins that when we are trailing upwards, you're making
Such a
Bitcoin.
smart insight.
When
It's
we're
such a
trailing
smart
downwards, we're making
Even-
Ethereum.
Even
So you're
if you,
building two currencies.
yeah,
It's
what you're saying
powerful.
is, if you believe in Bitcoin and Ethereum, then trade into Bitcoin and Ethereum, because either way, both the trends are actually up, right? Whereas if you trade in the US dollar, you know the one is going down and the one is going up. So that is such a smart insight, Sheldon. Wow. Wow. All right, Sheldon, stay on because we're going to need you again. Casey, what do you think of my sniper? What do you think of my secret weapon? He's quite accurate, right?
Yes, deadly.
You know who's not so accurate? I'll tell you who's not so accurate is these guys. These are the Bitcoin maximalists. And this is when they threw a party on Clubhouse, which they called the ETH BTC breaking down below 0.03 party. And since then, I think Bitcoin has done a 10x, if not more than that, or something like that. Ethereum has done a 10x against Bitcoin. These guys are possibly the most toxic bunch, I think, in crypto, because all they believe in is Bitcoin. They're not open-minded to anything else. I mean, imagine not being open-minded to NFTs and to Ethereum and to all the amazing things that's happening there.
It's tribalism at its best, or worst.
Exactly. All right, Case, this is like the moment of truth. So how are you trading this old season? Like, give us some insights as to where you're putting your money, what percentage of your money is sitting in Bitcoin, what else you're buying, what are the trends that you're looking at? Give us a feel for what's in Casey's wallet.
For sure. Well, I think a lot of people last alt season, and they might be doing this now, and I warn them, don't do it. A lot of people, they're treating cryptos like Pokemon, like we got to catch them all. But look, if you're over diversified in a market like this, you're going to miss out on gains. If you ignore the staples like Bitcoin and Ethereum, you're just going to miss gains and you're going to get wrecked. So
hold on, Fred, you treat IDOs, initial public offerings, you treat those as Pokemon cards. You don't have to, you see what Casey said? You don't have to get every single one. You can miss one. You can miss the second one.
Yep. A lot of people do that. So my strategy, my background's in finance and technology, software development. So I have categories of alts that I have. And depending on how much money, first of all, you got to figure out how much money you want to allocate to investing in altcoins, stick to it. And then you got to figure out how many different projects and stick to that as well. So I have about 20 to 30 that I stick to, and I diversify it across categories of DeFi and tech and a couple other things. So I got exchanges, derivatives, platforms, layer 2 solutions. And then, hey, I like video games. I like memes. So I got some Doge, I got some Engine, you
got some
Zilliqa.
Doge. Whoa. Are you holding your Doge? I mean, is this a real thing for you?
Well, I just threw some money at it for fun when it hit 1 cent. It was a total gamble. It was not an investment in my mind. Okay. But yeah, I'm going to hold it. I think it's going to hit $1.
You think it's going to hit $1? Wow, this is.
Yeah, I know.
Fred, we are such boomers, bro. Okay, so Case, let's talk about the categories and what you actually hold. So like, let's talk about the categories. What are the categories? Talk me through the hottest categories. Talk me through who your picks are in that category. Our community, they degens. They just want calls. We could have a 1 hour. Yesterday, I did a show. I made 8 calls on the show. It was one of our best performing shows. The other day, I tried to make a Bitcoin only. It got no views. YouTube took it down. They said it was too boring.
Gotcha. Well, I'll tell you what I'm holding, but then if people are trying to get some stuff, I did look at the charts. Okay, so my platforms, I got Ethereum, Polkadot, I got Oracle's, Chainlink, Band, exchanges, Uniswap, 1inch, derivatives, linear, synthetics, layer 2 solutions, which I always preach about, Matic, now Polygon, Loopring, capital acquisition stuff like Polkastarter, and then like the video game stuff, Zilliqa, Engine, Doge for the meme stuff. As far as if I had to pick some stuff right now that I'm in, I like to buy and go.
You can share your screen if you want. There's a share screen button on the bottom. You can share it if it helps.
Oh, okay. Really? Okay. Let me find it.
While she's doing that, guys, I mean, this has been one of our best episodes. There's 12,000 of you on the stream. Unbelievable.
Can you see it? Can you see my screen? Did it go off? Hold on.
Is it really going to go to the moon?
Okay,
I think I broke it.
can you guys hear me? Okay, great. So I'm going to restart my camera. Forgive me. I'm going to log out. I'm going to log back in. I'll be back in a second. Case, can you hear me? Just give me a thumbs up if you can hear me. Okay, cool. I'm going to log off and I'm going to log on. Hopefully it all works.
Well, if you guys can still hear me, I'll talk about my picks. All right, so Darwinia is down 34.5% the past 7 days. And if you believe in Polkadot and its ecosystem, and you believe in Ethereum, EOS, Tron, and the interoperability that will be very important for this space moving forward, Darwinia, Ring is, I'm surprised it's at 61 million market cap right now.
Okay, here I'm back. Sorry, I don't know what happened, but I'm back.
Did I break it?
You know what? Actually, you know what? I don't need to be here. This is now the KC show. Case, good luck. Tell the guys what they want to hear.
Okay. Well, I don't know how to share my screen here. Okay, so if you believe, like
You have
I
a
said,
button on the bottom, which is with like a little plus sign, which is share screen. Just click that share screen on the StreamYard.
yeah, when I did it, then you disappeared.
Don't break it again.
Wait. Okay. Can you see my screen?
No.
No.
We'll get this right, guys. We'll get this right. We will get this right.
Well, I can just talk about it. They don't need to see what I'm
Cool,
looking at.
Okay, cool. Let's talk about it. Cool. So tell us what you're thinking.
Okay, Ring. So do you like Darwinia? Ring? Have you guys ever talked about it on the show?
Yes. Go for it. Tell us why.
Well, I always buy in the red. So it's down 34% over the past 7 days. The market cap is insanely low, in my opinion, 61 million. And this is a steal right now. Another one, Polka Starter. I bet Fred likes Polka Starter.
Fred loves Polka Starter because Fred's an IDO degen. But I need to ask you a question.
Sure.
Launch pads in a bear market. So I get launch pads in a bull market. Like we all want to get in, we all want to ape into IDOs, and we all want to get in really early entry. And projects there are many more investors than money that needs to be raised. And so there's this insatiable demand for early access allocations.
Yep.
In a bear market though, projects beg for money and there's no money going around. So what happens to launch pads?
Well, this is why you need to be extremely agile in markets like this, where we have lots of innovation, lots of emotions, lots of uncertainty. And this is why when you invest in an alt, typically what I do is if I 2 to 5x, I'll take out my initial, put it into ETH or Bitcoin. And so this is what we have to play the market. Don't marry the market. You got to like date the market kind of thing. So, hey, guess what? If launch pads are not needed in a bear market or are not relevant, then that's just free market behavior. That's healthy market behavior. If you don't need something, then it shouldn't exist. So unfortunately, yeah, get in, get out, take your profits, but you have to leave room for innovation and leave room for market changes, different market sentiment. This is just what we're doing. This is crypto.
Okay, so Polka Starter, great one. I mean, we love Polka Starter, all the amazing projects on Polka Starter. In fact, we're going to show a project, and I want you to actually tell me what you think of the project, which is being launched on Polka Starter. So yeah, we'll do that. Any other ones that you're looking at, Case?
Linear, that's like a derivatives market. Derivatives actually in traditional finance has the most money. Okay, and so once it enters DeFi, which it has started to with synthetics and linear, it's down 27% over the past, week. Only has 237 million market cap. And then Kusama's down 18%. That's a great discount.
That's big news. Sheldon, let's get Kusama up. Let's see what Kusama is looking like. I know that's Sheldon's. It's on Sheldon's watch list.
Cool. I'm just getting it.
Yeah, it's a nice discount right now.
376.
Yeah, so it did hit two of the main sort of bar zones, the higher bar zone and the lower zone. All we did was come test support, which is good. So it's bargain. We've been talking about it. It's absolute bargain for Kusama. I see it over $1,000 quite soon. So I think it's a really good buy.
Okay. Case, you said linear finance as well. So Sheldon, let's call up linear finance, man.
Is it on TradingView? What's the ticker?
It should be LINA. There's a couple different ones. It's linear though. It might be on there, maybe not. I don't know.
Let's see if it is this one.
It's kind of a small project.
Is it this one over here? At 1 cent.
Yes. Is it down 27% the past 7 days?
Yeah,
It's
it's
kinda-
down quite a bit.
Yeah, it's consolidating. Sure.
Yeah. So it's good. We
Yep,
got a
that's right.
trend out of the breaker trend. It's just going to go sideways for a little bit and then definite buy. So that's a good trend for you guys too. 4-hour trends are always good.
Yep. Polkadot's actually consolidating too, and that's a that's a top 10, down 18% the past week.
Yeah, Dot's also really good. How are you running there for time, Ren?
Yeah, we got. Let's do one more, and then we're going to go on to our project
Well,
of the
it's
day.
doing exactly what we wanted to do. Same this, we got the big drop, we got the calm downness, which is good. We came down again, captured the rest of the liquidity, so this is good. So if we have a look at this short-term trend, it's just to see, obviously it has to do the full reversal. So this is the buy signal now for DOT, but obviously it can either be a short term, which can take it to the 43 to the 46 range again, or if we get the higher high, then we're obviously holding it for a lot longer. But it's a buy now. We will just know, do we hold it for the next 2 months, or do we hold it for the next week and just make our 30% and then have another farming opportunity? So this is always a good buy. We usually come to this zone. And obviously, if we get the higher points, then we know we can hold it for the much higher targets. So that's good.
Great. Sheldon, hold on. We may get you back again. Case, I know that we can't do like do you like this one or do you like this one? But if you were to take $10,000 and invest it in either Polkadot or Cardano, which one?
Polkadot.
Tell me why.
They're kind of new kid on the block. They've been innovating. They're actually... So my thing with Cardano is they've been around for several years, and I always say they've been talking a lot of talk. They don't walk yet. They have not walked. And Polkadot came out of nowhere, and they're developing, and they're performing, and they're delivering. And they're trying to achieve interoperability with like a Cardano and an Ethereum. I just, I look at Cardano as another Ethereum or Elrond. It's another separate platform, but what Polkadot's trying to do is interconnect everything, which I think will be very important for the survival of Cardanos and Ethereums alike.
Okay.
So
Cosmos?
I like Cosmos. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So let's do this. We have a project which I really like. It's a reinsurance project. I'm going to bring the founder of the project on. Let's listen to the project, and then you and I can ask him questions. I think it's a fantastic project. I want the community to hear about it. Jess, how are you, my friend?
Hello, I'm doing well. Thank you so much for having me here.
No problem, man. So you're launching an extremely exciting project. Tell us a little bit about the project. The project's called, how do I even pronounce it? UnoRe.
It's called UnoRe. It's the Spanish. So uno de tres. So it's called UnoRe. I'll tell you a little bit about the project first. Thank you so much for having me, and hi to everyone who's here listening to us and seeing us. UnoRe is the world's first decentralized reinsurance platform. Now, basically what reinsurance is, that's insuring the insurance protocols. So when an insurance company cannot pay a claim, a reinsurer comes in and pays the claim on behalf of the insurance company. And trust me, that happens a lot of time. It's an industry inside where insurers go bankrupt left, right, and center. So we don't have a solution like that in the DeFi space yet. That's why UnoRe, as I believe, is very important. Reinsurance is also a very, very profitable business. So all the hedge funds in the world, they either operate as a reinsurer or they own a reinsurer because of the fact that it has a lot of capital efficiency. So Warren Buffett, he's made all his money investing in reinsurance risk pools. And UnoRe will allow investors to put money directly into these reinsurance risk pools. So you don't have to be a Warren Buffett. You can own $500 and put your money in a reinsurance risk pool. The second thing is reinsurance is very, very rigid. So we have about 10,000 people here, watching the show, and you must have bought a motor insurance or a health insurance. It has not changed for the last 50 years. You still have the same health insurance plan. You still have the same motor insurance plan. The reason is because reinsurers, they dominate the space. They dominate how you get claim paid. They dominate how you buy your policy, what the premium is. So they're earning their money on these fixed products. They can never think about the consumer. So what UnoRe will allow, UnoRe for innovators will allow an innovative insurtech company, an innovative insurance protocol to come onto the platform and design their own product for their community. So that's what we're trying to do. And then we have a third platform, which is called UnoRe for traders. So reinsurance as an investment can then be commoditized to have complex financial instruments to, built on top of it. So people
So you can trade your insurance positions. Are you saying that you'd almost wrap up insurance positions like an LP token, like a liquidity token, and you would trade in and out of your? So if I'm insuring, I don't know, the World Trade Center, the old World Trade Center, I can actually trade in and out of that, right?
Absolutely.
Bad example, but yeah.
Yeah. So Ran, an asset at its core is something which generates you money, right? So risk is also an asset. When you put money in risk, that becomes an asset. And then you can make a complex financial instrument like a derivative on top of it. So we wanted to, include that onto our platform as well, because UnoRe as investors is going to be, hopefully very profitable. And UnoRe for traders, you're hedging against a very profitable position. So it's going to be very lucrative as well.
It's just insane right now.
That was. I mean, George watches the show and he said it's just insane. Are you saying now? I just want to make sure that I'm getting this right. So, in order to get DeFi to work, we need to have insurance protocols, because no real institution is going to come into DeFi and invest in a DeFi protocol without real insurance, right? You're saying that if these insurance protocols run the risk of actually going insolvent if something huge happens, and what you're allowing them to do is you're allowing them to reinsure themselves using the community. So you can reinsure a DeFi protocol in case they collapse. And then you can also trade that LP position. I'm assuming it looks like an NFT almost, like your specific position probably looks like an NFT.
It does. We were actually, we're going to release an article very soon as to how risk investment resembles an NFT. So you can trade that NFT as you would trade any other NFT. Moreover, something that I would also highlight is the fact that UnoRe is the first time you're going to have a protocol which is registered as a reinsurer or an insurance entity. So we're actually taking half of our entire raise and putting that into a government bond to set up a reinsurance company to get a reinsurance risk capacity. So whoever we are reinsuring becomes legal, so to say. So I understand, we're all here, we're saying, crypto is going to be big, but we also need to make sure that we're in the bounds of the regulatory framework. So we have partnerships lined up who are using us and our risk capacity to get themselves reinsured.
Okay, in the interest of time, your background, insurance, reinsurance, just how did you see this gap?
So I was the CTO of the third largest health insurance company in Dubai. We recently had raised $20 million to set up our own reinsurance company. I thought that's where I realized setting up a reinsurer is not very difficult. It's just an exclusive club. I was thankfully part of that club. So I thought, and I have been in the blockchain space for the last 5 years. Me and my co-founder, we've been in the space for a very long time. So we thought, let's marry these things together. I also realized there's no reinsurance for the crypto protocol. So I said, let's go and disrupt the reinsurance space because it's not been done for 400 years.
Okay, when is this launching and on what protocol? Let's go quickly because we've got 2 more minutes before the stream's going to cut. So
Sure. So it's launching on 28th of April on Polka Starter. And our roadmap looks like this. So we launch as an ERC20 token. Because it's a regulated space, we would then first go to Binance Smart Chain because I want it to be, on a stable platform where the transactions don't cost that much. Once DOT is ready and our technical team is very, very good and they think that, we're ready to migrate, we'll then migrate to Polkadot. So the eventual goal is to go to Polkadot, but we have like a step in the middle to make sure that every transition is smooth.
Okay, Jess, people here, I mean, this is not me, this is the community. They're saying they want $1,000 in the banter bags of UnoRe. Is there $1,000 allocation for the banter bags? Or, I mean, how does that work?
Sure, we can do that. Anything for the community, guys.
Okay, Fred says it's good. Fred wants to ape in because that's what Fred does. Guys, any questions before we go?
Nope. It's brilliant. I think a lot of people haven't gotten into the insurance space because, quite frankly, they probably think it's boring, but it's extremely necessary for innovation to keep going, because if you can't mitigate risk, then you're not going to get big players coming in, put in serious money. So
okay,
awesome.
Guys, we have 1 more minute. Jess, thank you so much, my friend. Great to have you on CryptoBand. Good luck with the launch. Keep us informed and send me the SAFT for the banter bags because that's super important. Case, thank you.
Thank you.
You've been amazing. Our community love you. You would love to get you back. We'd love to get you back on a banter. We'd love to get you back on a one-on-one. I'd love to co-host with you. So let's stay in touch. Absolutely amazing. So much love for you. Thank you.
Yeah. See you guys.
Cool. And so much love for you guys. I will see you guys again tomorrow. Same time, same place, 10 a.m. EST and Sheldon show before. Until then, if you're trading, bring home the bags, friends. And remember, tomorrow, George is coming to banter.
Crypto Banter is a social podcast for entertainment purposes only. All opinions expressed by the hosts, guests, and callers should not be construed as financial advice.